Hello everyone, and welcome to a very late night, crazy show of the Utopia of Nerd News. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam.
And, of course, we're going to get you started with game news. Hello.
Our first little bit of game news is that Microsoft has changed its policies on XBLA indie games as far as making them charge for updates and patches, where originally they had to pay $50,000 just to do an update. And obviously, I don't know, personally I think maybe this is still kind of part of their trying to bring people back after all that bad PR, which they're doing a good job of. Our second little bit of news is Sony Japan President, hopefully I say this right, Hiroshi Kawano, has said the PlayStation 3 will get like updates and still get a lot of maintenance and things to keep it running after the PlayStation 4 release, like well after was actually what he was quoted on saying. So it's good.
Yeah, that's really nice for, people who don't get a chance to buy the next one or don't have the money. That's really nice. Sony.
Right. I mean, it's $400.
Yeah. Some of us just don't have that kind of money.
Right. Our next little thing is EA is going to be doing a complete overhaul on their Origin program, which for those of you who don't know what that is, that's basically like their version of Steam, but for all of EA stuff. And it's had a lot of bad stuff since it's come out. It's been very buggy. It's been basically focused towards getting EA more money. And basically, all in all, fans have hated it. And they're saying now we will remake it and rebuild it for the fans. I don't know why it wasn't done like that in the first place.
Well, it's EA.
Right, exactly. Steam already owns it. You're always going to be number two. Our next little thing is Minecraft for the 360 has reached 7 million sales.
That's so crazy.
7 million. And the PC version is at 11 million sales.
I am part of the 11 million.
I just think this is a really cool thing to note because it's cool to see an indie game get so absurdly popular.
Definitely.
Like, to give you some perspective, like Skyrim was like 11 million. It's huge. Granted, this isn't, $60 a pop like Skyrim is,
right.
but still, like it's huge. It's massive numbers, still growing. I believe it's the second most played game on Xbox right now.
Oh, I believe it.
It's still growing, it's still going up. It's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And in some additional Minecraft news, MineCon 2013, which is their little thingy,
little Comic-Con
has a release date for November 2nd and the 3rd, and this year's will be held in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, cool.
So, good for Floridanites.
Yeah.
Floridians, what are they called? People of Florida. You people of Florida.
You people.
Go
to MineCon
2013. And that's really it for the gaming news. I think we're still kind of in that post-hangover of E3.
Yeah.
There's not a ton. But don't worry, there's a ton of movie news.
Tons of
or
stuff.
Movie if you don't like movies.
Yeah.
And the first one is we're going to start off with some Marvel movie news from the main franchise. And Joe Russo, one of the two brothers that is doing the Captain America the Winter Soldier movie scheduled for next year, specifically next summer, has said that they will make this movie like as dark and gritty and tough as like the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy and Man of Steel, hopefully with better characterization than Man of Steel,
right.
but
that's crazy because they usually approach with like humor and stuff and
right and
be interesting.
They have 7 movies in this particular franchised series, and all of them are pretty much critically acclaimed outside of 2 of them being kind of the lower ones with the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2. Wherever you're at on Iron Man 3 on there, whatever. The 2 that got it worst were those, but they still weren't super bad. It's pretty crazy to see them go with such a kind of big drastic change, but it's kind of cool at the same time because
I'm excited for it.
It'll be interesting.
Yes,
it'll be interesting. That's where I'll go with that. The next little thing is that the Captain Planet movie is now under production at Sony. And more terrible news: Terminator is getting a reboot. They've been playing with forever now, saying that oh, we're going to do Terminator 5, we're bringing Arnold back, we're doing all this stuff. No, they are rebooting it instead. They just announced this week that they're not going to do Terminator 5, it'll be a reboot, and that Arnold will be in it.
Oh.
But I guess it'll take place in, I guess, like the 1930s, 1940s. And they're bringing in The Rock.
What?
To be a robot that's coming back in time. The Rock, yes. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's character will be fighting him off, I guess. And that's going to be what's going to inspire the future robots to make their Arnold Schwarzenegger robot for the other stuff.
You know, these people really need to stop remaking this stuff.
And just another little quick thing, I don't normally do a ton of actor signings unless it's like a Marvel thing or a DC thing or something, but Cameron Diaz was signed on to be Miss Hannigan for the Annie movie.
Oh. I could see it. I could see it.
Honestly, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've never seen Annie in my life, so I can't tell you anything.
No. Annie is a good musical for those of you out there who, you know, are musical lovers, like myself. Annie is one of those classic musicals, and I think that Cameron Diaz will do, you know, Miss Hannigan justice.
I don't even know what that character does. I'm going to assume she's a serial killer.
No, she is the orphanage director.
Oh,
and she's horrible. Like, she's a horrible orphanage director. She treats the kids like crap.
Oh, so she's going to pretend she's doing one of her recent movies. And another one you might have heard about. This is kind of a semi-popular little thing that came out with Marvel. Wasn't really news as much as that Vin Diesel had said on his Facebook, his fan Facebook page, that he had a meeting with Marvel, that they requested him. He had no idea what it was for, and we too updated right now. We still have no idea. I've heard different theories on who he might be. The only one that I thought sounded really cool personally was if they redo Daredevil, have him be the Kingpin.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I can see that. He would be a cool villain.
I'd be cool with that.
I can't think of him as Ant-Man, obviously.
Oh, gosh,
that would be kind of hysterical. I would actually enjoy that in a sick, sadistic kind of way. I can't see him, obviously, as Black Panther, because that would infuriate so many people, myself included.
Yeah.
And I definitely can't see him as Doctor Strange either. I mean, those are kind of the big three that have the potential to pop up as the new major heroes. And he can't really be any of them. None of those really mix. I know a lot of people have suggested maybe he will be voicing and kind of bodysuiting Thanos. With his voice, he can kind of sound like a good villain.
I just don't know.
But, yeah, the one I've seen that I've liked, I've also heard if they redo Daredevil, have him, but no, do not have him as Daredevil. Do not do it. He's just going to run around and club people and have no agileness to him, which he needs to have. Is that a word?
Agileness?
Yes.
It just became a word
it's
right
a word
now.
Okay. Yeah, so the only one that really, at least out of those, I also thought maybe, since we just had kind of the little leaked rumors of like a Dormammu kind of thing, if maybe he would voice the giant spirit demon thing. Because he's got a really deep, kind of evil-sounding voice to him.
Yes, he does.
Like, he could do something like that. And if so, then we get to listen to his voice die.
Yeah.
And you know how X-Men Days of Future Past, a few months back, was just literally rattling off more and more superheroes announced to the cast? And they got to filming, and they've been filming for a few months now. And all that's done and gone, and finally we're free of the amount of cast growing and growing.
Yes.
We got another one.
Oh, gosh.
That literally, like, they're far into it. And it's, I guess, supposed to be an up-and-coming actor from Australia named Josh Hellman. And for whatever reason, they didn't say what his role is, which is kind of odd because everybody else they've said who they're playing as. So it's kind of weird. Obviously, they're playing some kind of mystery thing. I don't know if this means like they're trying to set up a sequel, because they even said he'll be on set for a couple weeks.
Crazy.
So it's not just like a two-line thing.
Right. He's not just like one of the background people.
Right, and they literally just threw him in. So, and another kind of crazy thing, more directed with the DC side of the comic book movie world thingy.
Yeah.
Is that Warner Brothers is splitting with Legendary Pictures. It's huge news. This isn't small stuff. They're splitting. For those who don't know what Legendary's done, they did the Batman trilogy, the Christopher Nolan ones. They did Inception, which isn't a comic book, but it's still one of the movies they did. They did 300 together, which I believe was the comic book version of it. They did the Man of Steel movie. They did all those kinds of movies. They're actually doing Pacific Rim and I know another movie still, and they're finishing those projects together. But I don't know what this says about the DC movies right now, because this is the production company that put all that together.
Right.
I mean, it's clearly going to delay a Man of Steel 2, and it probably give them a really different feel too.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're going to keep the directing.
I don't know.
The writing,
this could be a good thing.
Or a horrible thing, depending on your point of view. It's huge. It's really huge. I know right now Fox and Sony are both bidding to have the partnership with Legendary.
Oh.
Which would mean either like an X-Men or a Fantastic Four or Spider-Man mix. So we could see drastic changes in those. Hopefully if any of those, or of all of those who really need it, I think Fantastic Four could really use the extra help.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I want my boy Silver Surfer to be in a good movie, even if it's not part of the series. I want it to be.
People need more Silver Surfer in their life.
They really do. But another little thing is, I believe when the relationship kind of broke down in the meetings about renegotiating the contract, had something to do with like the CEO or the president or something of Legendary saying he wanted to also be kind of involved in some of the producing and getting, being an EP.
Yeah.
Obviously, they want to make more money. They're the ones making the big money-making movies, and they told him no.
Oh, well. Shame on you, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, so
shame on you.
That's pretty big news.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's probably the big one for the week there.
Right.
The next one is another quickie. Liam Neeson was given $20 million to make Taken 3.
Yes.
First one was good. Second one looked awful. I heard it was awful. I didn't bother watching it.
I will watch it someday. I love Liam Neeson.
I love his voice.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He's got the voice. If I want my life narrated, that's it. Right there.
Or James Earl Jones.
He's good, but I would prefer Liam Neeson. Not discrediting.
No, but yes.
Another one you've probably heard about, it was on, I know some like actual news places and whatnot, is Jim Carrey came out and basically trashed his upcoming movie, Kick-Ass 2, basically not condoning all the violence and saying it was bad and stuff. A lot of people obviously are very upset with him because this is after he's taken the money, done the film, all that stuff. So, do you have any thoughts on this update, I guess, on the movie?
Well, I feel like if you're in a movie, you really shouldn't talk trash about your movie.
Especially when they paid you millions of dollars?
Especially if they pay you a lot of money. I understand, like, if you don't condone the violence in it, but
you signed the contract.
To trash talk it, that's kind of a big thing. I mean,
right, not condone the movie and things like that.
Right, yeah, that's kind of like killing your audience, your viewers down.
See, I've got a different theory. I've got a different theory. People weren't talking about this movie, and then he says this, and then it starts breaking a lot more news. I think that they were like, all right, we're not getting maybe the push we want because of Man of Steel and all those other big ones happening. Mm-hmm. So we're like, all right, now that we're a month out, let's do something to try and help build it up so when the trailers hit, people know what they're talking about and things like that. We live in a very violent society and we love very violent things. And saying that I don't condone the violence in this movie is basically like people like, I wonder how violent it really is. I think maybe he even if he doesn't condone the violence and whatnot, I think he's professional enough. He's been around long enough not to just go and trash on one of his movies, because he trashed on it in a very particular way, saying I don't condone the violence. He didn't be like, oh man, the story sucks, the characters, it's terrible. I hate working with younger people. It's not like he was doing that kind of stuff. He was like, oh, it's really violent. It's really violent. I think maybe even he contacted the people at the film studio and was like, hey, we're not getting a lot. I'm going to say a little bit about it. It'll get us in the news, something like that, so they're not even upset with him. I think it's just a giant publicity stunt.
That could be.
That's my personal thought. So, Marvel has, you know how they normally do the main Marvel universe, going back to them,
Yes.
Captain America and Thor and Iron Man, all them?
Yes.
They're doing 2 movies a year, right?
Yes.
This year we had Iron Man 3, and we have Thor 2 later. And then the summer release for next year is supposed to be Captain America the Winter Soldier, and then the winter release is supposed to be Guardians of the Galaxy. After that is supposed to be the Avengers 2 movie, and then the Ant-Man movie,
Yes.
which are 2015. They just announced that they're going to have the 2 movies for 2016, which isn't a real surprise, but it's led to a lot of speculation.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, we know there's going to be something with it, right? I guess there's also been some rumors they're going to kind of use him to be more of kind of a mentor leader for the group, to almost kind of take Iron Man's spot in a way. But who knows about that? Anyway, Doctor Strange, we know. There's a lot of people that have been kind of wondering about a Black Panther, because there'll be one of those we have no idea about, because there's going to be 2 years and then Avengers 3. So that'll be 4 movies. And then we know about Doctor Strange kind of being a thing. A lot of people are wondering if the other one's going to be Black Panther, which they've been toying off and on with forever. And we know for sure that Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth are both signed to do 3 standalone Thor and Captain America movies. So they're both going to probably be in there. There's a lot of possibilities for these spots, but this is just a fun little speculative bit of news for you. Another speculative thing, on the set of Captain America, Edgar Wright was spotted. Do you know who Edgar Wright is?
I do not.
Edgar Wright is the guy charged with making the Ant-Man movie.
Oh.
But he wasn't spotted alone.
Who was he with?
He was with an actor by the name of Armie Hammer.
Oh, is he gonna be Ant-Man?
Maybe. They're saying no. It's a coincidence that they showed up on set after they've been filming for a little while.
Yes.
But obviously this is leading to some rumors. Is Armie Hammer going to be Ant-Man or Hank Pym, depending on if you want to use his real name or his superhero name? And will we have the kind of announcement in maybe that movie or in its post-credit?
Oh, come on, please. Yes.
I think, because that seems like a good time for it.
Yeah, it does.
It's next year. We don't know if Ant-Man's going to show up in his movie first, or if it's actually going to be in Avengers 2, which would be the movie right before it. If they do Ultron, like some people have speculated, he's the guy who creates Ultron, so obviously he would be in that, along with Wasp, who is his girl.
His girl.
So there's obviously a ton of fun speculative stuff. It's really exciting times for Marvel fans. Alright, now we've got some movie trailers to talk about.
Okay.
The first one, probably my favorite at least, is a movie called The Counselor. This one has tons of high-end actors and people you'll recognize if you see. Javier Bardem looks amazing. I mean, this is just a teaser. You won't get a whole lot from it. But Javier Bardem, Michael Fassbender,
Cameron
Diaz, Penelope Cruz, Brad Pitt. Like, it's got quality names that will bring some eyeballs. Also, it seems like it'll be produced by Ridley Scott, which is just a fun little thing. Just a teaser trailer. Do you have any real thoughts on it?
No, there really wasn't enough for me to really conjure an opinion about it.
Outside the fact that it looked cool.
Yeah.
The next one we'll do is a movie called Adore.
Okay.
I'll let you go with this one.
Oh my gosh. Why did they create this script? Why are they making this movie? This is the most ridiculous movie ever.
Yep. Preach it.
I will preach it.
Preach it.
It's about 2 moms who are like best friends, and they have
Did they grow up together?
Yes, they grew up together. And they both have a son, and then they end up like
having relationships with each other's sons.
Oh my gosh. Why?
I don't know. And they're trying to be like edgy with it and be like, oh yeah, look, we're ahead of the times. We'll be with you cool people.
Just stop.
I feel like it's almost like an incest thing. Because it's like they grew up together, like as a group. That's what it looks like, at least. They grow up like, because there's no dads for either of the women. And it feels like they're like live right next to each other. They always grew up together. It feels really weird. The next one we'll talk about is a movie called Jobs. And now this is the first of the 2 Steve Jobs movies that were being made. This is the one with Ashton Kutcher playing Steve Jobs, the younger Steve Jobs. The other one is the one being made by Aaron Sorkin, which I think is still being written, so that one's probably a year to 2 years away. Which is the one I'm personally a little more looking forward to because I'm a big fan of Aaron Sorkin. Those who don't know who he is, he's the writer for The Newsroom. He did the Facebook movie. He did The West Wing. He's really good. He's a really good writer, really intelligent writer. He will make stuff that, jokes that come, but they don't linger, not like most comedies are now. They're very fast-paced, and if you don't get them, you missed it.
I'm not a huge fan of Ashton Kutcher. And I felt like parts of the trailer, it just reminded me of when he played in that 70s show.
See, I don't know. I thought it didn't look bad.
No, it didn't look horrible.
There were some fun parts. It's a movie that I definitely see at some point in time, but it's not a movie I'm like, I have to see. Right.
Yeah.
It has kind of the stereotypical movie trailer thing where they got one of those happy songs and they just start putting it on and it slowly gets louder and it's very stereotyped, right? If I was to tell you... Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger were co-starring in a movie that isn't Expendables, what would you think?
Wow. They really want to come back into the movie business.
Well, yes, they do. And they have a new movie coming out called The Escape Plan. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, first, I was like, oh, this is Expendables 3, what do you know?
Already? They're not even filming yet.
But then I was like, oh, those characters don't look like they're in Expendables. And then I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger and I was like, oh gosh. No. Oh. It's almost like they're trying to bring back like the 80s. Like the 80s
like early
gun
90s.
movies and oh, guys, those were long gone.
Honestly for me, if I, because I heard this before the trailer came out, right? I heard they were in a movie together. I was like, oh god, this is going to be awful. Actually watching this trailer, at least during the beginning part, when it was just Sylvester Stallone before Arnold popped in, I was like, this doesn't seem bad. Like, it actually seemed like a decent movie, not like a great movie, but like, I could watch this. Like, I could enjoy this. I wouldn't like love it, but I could enjoy it. I wouldn't pay to go see it.
It'd bring back some nostalgia from the 80s.
Right, I think when Arnold popped in, it got a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was so weird where it's like, well, this clearly sucks. Like, the movie could suck, obviously. This is just a trailer. But, like, it didn't seem horrible. Like, it seemed a lot better than some of their other more recent standalone movies,
Definitely.
So, we have one more to talk about. There's a few small ones that came out, but not really worth your time that looked awful. And this one will cause a lot of fan fiction. This one's called Thank You for Sharing, and it stars Mark Ruffalo, and yeah, what do you think about it?
First of all, if you watch this trailer,
you should. It's down.
It'll be down in the description. I just want to say, Iron Man gonna be jealous.
Iron Man's gonna be pissed. Well, what's he gonna do when the Hulk's mad at him?
Especially.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Hulkbuster got blown up in Iron Man 3. You've got nothing.
I think it looks enjoyable. I'm excited for
First
it.
off, let me say I love their song choice for the trailer.
Yes, Imagine Dragons.
Yes, demons. And as far as the actual content, I thought the movie actually looked really good.
Yeah.
It looks like a movie I'd actually want to go see. And most of the movies I want to go see right now, or at least lately, seem to have been kind of the action stuff, and this is obviously very different than that. For a quick synopsis about it, it's basically like a guy, Mark Ruffalo, is a sex addict, right? And he has his girlfriend, Gwyneth Paltrow, and he starts going to meetings to try and help himself and whatnot. And
she doesn't know.
Right. She finds out in the trailer, so obviously it's probably not too far into the movie. And he meets some other people, and they kind of try and help each other with their problems. Which I'm really curious. Like, this trailer seemed really like they were trying to almost force it into like a comedy. Mm-hmm. But with that kind of story, they can easily have a little bit of a drama thrown in, so it can be kind of a dramedy. And I hope it goes like that. Sex addict is a huge deal, right? Yes. Like, I've heard it's far more difficult to deal with than like drug addictions and things like that. Like, it's a huge deal for a lot of people, and I would hate if they kind of turned it into a pure comedy, because they shouldn't be joking about people's problems.
No.
So, I mean, I hope they do this really well. I have good expectations or high expectations for it. It seemed like a really good movie.
It really does. Definitely check out the trailer. It was really cool to see Pink, who's the artist in it, as well as Josh, who is also in Jobs.
And moving away from movie trailers for a bit, or at least forever. We've got two quick little TV things I just want to mention. The first one is we've already got our latest actor added for the next season of Game of Thrones. You probably don't know him.
No.
I mean, I don't know him. His name is Pedro Pascal. Do you?
Don't think I know him.
Okay. Well, he was added, and he will be the character, which apparently is a big one for those who read the books. Oberyn Martell, part of the Martell family, which is one of the 7 major families.
Mm-hmm.
His nickname is the Red Viper. And I read kind of a spoiler-free synopsis of him, which basically says he's like trying to be, or not trying to be, like he's like the perfect guy where he's supposed to be like handsome, he's intelligent, he's all those kinds of things. He's tough. He's got all the stereotypical perfect dude kind of things, right? And I think it was, I don't exactly remember. I think it was like his sister or one of his family members was killed by one of the Lannisters during the Great War. So basically, as he grew up with a vengeance. And his one goal in life is payback on the Lannisters. And I guess right away into the series or the next season, he's going to be showing up in King's Landing.
Oh.
So get hyped.
Stuff's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. We have to wait so long.
And the other one I just wanted to throw in there is tomorrow night is the season premiere of the final season of Dexter, which is one of the best TV shows of all time. So go watch that. Just get my plug in there.
Yep.
What's up, Michael C. Hall? Alright guys, so I'm gonna take my leave of the talking podium and pass the imaginal thing over to Sarah, so she can do the imaginal stuff.
We're just creating words tonight. Yes,
Florty.
we are. Floridian. Anyways, alright guys, anime time! Woo! Yay! So, some news. Miyazaki's new anime film, The Wind Rises. It had a teaser come up. It's just a short little diddly thing. It'll be down in the description, and you can check it out. Like I said, it's just a little thing, but it's really cool because Miyazaki said that this is the first time that he's cried for one of his films. The Wind Rises will premiere in Japan on July 20th. So moving on, Funimation has acquired streaming rights to 2 animes. They are summer simulcast shows. The first one is Brothers Conflict, and it is set to air July 2013, July 2nd, in Japan. And it is an adaptation of a romance novel which centers around a girl, and she gains 13 stepbrothers. I'm not quite sure the other premises. I mean, you can go check it out. You can read a synopsis of it. But that's just a quick little synopsis. And there is also a trailer for that one as well.
Yes, there is.
It's just like The Wind Rises. It's just a little teaser. There's not much to them, which it kind of sucks when it comes to anime trailers because
like
you want a little more,
seconds.
But yeah. And a lot of the time it's in Japanese.
There's one thing I want to say about this trailer. I couldn't tell if the boys were cross-dressing girls or if this was about boy love, because this was in Japanese and that's what the trailer looked like. I'm just going to throw that out there when you watch it below. That's the thing.
Anyways, the second anime that Funimation got streaming rights for is called, and I'm sorry if I messed this up, but it's Danganronpa or Danganronpa, something like that.
I'll take your word for it.
Danganronpa. The TV anime, it's going to be airing July 4th, 2013 in Japan as well. It is an adaptation of a PSP game, and it will feature the same cast as the game. And going into the synopsis of this, it is pretty much a school setting, and there is this bear. It's called like Mono Bear, and
Persona?
And yes, Persona directors are like directing these.
For the animation.
Yes. And Monobear is the principal, and pretty much what you have to do to graduate from this high school is you have to kill someone.
I wonder, is this like they trying to like assassinate each other, like a Dexter thing where it's like dead like in the thing and they like lock them up, or if this is like a fight thing and they like you, me, fight to the death?
I don't know. I mean, maybe if you played the game, you would know more
I would
about
hope so.
it. I would hope so too.
I think I like the first one more, where they're trying to like secretly assassinate each other, so you can't trust anyone at all. I think that could be kind of interesting.
It could be.
But the premise, outside of the necessarily trying to kill each other, sounds literally like the exact same plot as Persona 4 The Arena.
Oh.
Where they like all go to this thing, and the teddy bear guy takes control of it, and he forces them all into fighting with each other so that they can move on. It sounds very, very similar. I'm just throwing that out there.
Interesting. So yeah, those two, Funimation has streaming rights, so that's really cool. Moving on, Sword Art Online. I know, he's like this huge fan now.
I'm addicted. I started watching it. I shouldn't have, but I did.
But anyways, if you are waiting for the English version on Toonami, it is slated to come onto Toonami's rundown.
Don't wait. Just watch it right now.
July 27th. It looks really good. I know, like I've been saying, he's a complete fan.
Okay. So I got bored. I decided, hey, I haven't seen it. I've really wanted to see it. Seems kind of like Dot Hack, which it's kind of similar, but it's very, very different. So it's not like a copy spoof. It's its own thing. I started watching this. I got like 2 episodes in, then I had to go work. I came back. I was like, hey, I have time. I'll watch a few more before I go to bed. I ended up staying up till 5 in the morning, and then the first thing I did when I woke up is I'll watch some more. Jeez. And after the first like kind of 2 days, and I was working and stuff in between this, I got to episode like 19.
Addicted.
19. So it's very good. You don't have to wait. Go watch it now, then watch the American dub later. It's worth it. It's amazing.
Kind of an anime that people know about, Rurouni Kenshin.
Yes, I believe I've heard of that.
It is getting 2 new live action Kyoto Arc films.
Live action?
Yes.
Like with people?
Yeah, that would be live action. It is greenlit for next summer. It's the first film will play in San Francisco on July 28th through August 1st, and then the Japanese TV premiere in NTV's Friday night movie time slot will be happening. I'm not quite sure what all the details entail, but it's getting 2 new live actions for next summer. So yes, that is all that I have for my anime. On to books. Everyone loves a good book, right?
No, not everybody.
I know. But this book sounds really awesome. If you are a William Shakespeare fan, or maybe you're just a Star Wars fan, there is a book coming out called William Shakespeare's Star Wars. It's by Ian Doescher. And, you know, like I said, if you love Star Wars and or Shakespeare, or you love them both, this is a book for you. It's pretty much putting Star Wars in iambic. So yes, William Shakespeare's Star Wars. Pick it up July 2nd, Tuesday.
Is this the picking up animation?
Is the picking up animation. Alright, and so for my last part of my book news, there is a book called The Bloodsong, a Raven's Shadow novel, and it's by Anthony Ryan. In the beginning, Valen Alsorna was only a child of 10 when his father left him to the Order of the Sixth, or the Sixth Order. Which they made him devoted to battle, and he's trained for the path of the warrior of the faith. So this is just kind of like a huge fantasy book. So it sounds kind of interesting.
It does.
Might be one that you might want to check out.
Do you know if it's like a children appropriate one, like a Ranger's Apprentice, or if it's like a Game of Thrones adult only one?
I'm gonna guess it's probably in the middle, probably for like young adults, but I'm not quite sure on the premise. So that might be one that you want to check out. If you are looking for books for your teenager or maybe your child, I would definitely read the synopsis and try to figure out if it's child appropriate. Sometimes that's hard for books.
Or if you're able to read and make your own decisions in life, you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, that's our show. Thanks for watching. And we really don't have anything for over the course of the week, so stay tuned for next week's news. That should be our next video. Up there, we have a subscribe box. It should be just past Sarah's head. And over here, just past my head, is the mystery box, which is a random video on YouTube that can be from anyone about anything, and you don't know what it is until you click it.
It's
so click
of our choosing. Click. Right now. Click. Click. Click.
Right
click.
There. And that one too.
Click. Click.
That one too.
Click.
Both of them.
Click. Click. Click.
Oh, and don't forget, we have stuff in the description if you're
Yeah.
interested in the trailers.
Definitely.
See you next time.